Hi everybody, welcome back to In The Huddle. I'm Jillian Kushner. Today is Thursday, which means this video is about the big games this weekend. Before y'all go, please click the little subscribe button below and subscribe and like the Facebook page in the description box, and let's get started. I'm going to stop giving this little spiel before, but again, this is just going to be about football because basketball season just started, blah blah blah. Anyway, it's about football. So today's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving everybody. If you're watching this the day it's posted, there are big games on Thanksgiving, but I'm sure you're going to see this afterwards, so we're not going to talk about those ones. But Thanksgiving games are always great to watch. So let's start it off with the NFL. So the Thanksgiving games are actually pretty big, but we're going to talk about the ones on Sunday. So the big games this Sunday, the ones that are really standing out to me are Kansas City versus Denver, which is actually the Sunday night football game. So Kansas City is 7-3 as well as Denver is 7-3. These two teams, they're both trying to really like I've been saying the past few weeks, the playoffs are coming up, so they're trying to earn their little spot in the playoffs, and that's really what's at stake for both of these teams. Both teams kind of had some high hopes and just kind of haven't really met their potential. The Denver Broncos obviously had a huge loss this year with Peyton Manning, their quarterback, retiring after last year. So that was big. And Kansas City has had their own issues with injury. Their star running back, Jamal Charles, who's also a Longhorn, has had some really bad knee injuries, and he just cannot get his knee right, and I feel for him, and it really sucks. So they've been both kind of struggling and trying to find their way without these major players, and like I said, they're both 7-3, so really this is a big game for both of these teams. Both Kansas City and Denver are in the AFC West, so this is really trying to get to the top of their division. Right now, Oakland, who I've talked about, is at the top of the division because they're 8-2, so they're both trying to fight for that number 2 spot, and so this is the best way to figure out who's number 2, is put the two teams together because they're both tied for second place as of right now. The next big game in the NFL is the Monday Night Football game. That is Green Bay versus Philadelphia Eagles. I don't just talk about the Eagles because they're my team. It really is a big game, I promise. So right now, Green Bay is 4-6 and the Eagles are 5-5. Green Bay, this is I don't know how to explain this. I think everyone thought Green Bay was going to be incredible this year. Super Bowl run incredible, because they have who I think is the best quarterback in the NFL, and Aaron Rodgers. He's also on my fantasy team and really helps me out, so I appreciate that, Aaron. But he just hasn't been himself. Granted, he's still great, don't get me wrong, but we've all just kind of seen something that's weird. None of us really know what's going on with him. Aaron Rodgers is just not himself this year. He's just kind of off his game, really. And so they have really fallen from expectations. We all thought they were going to be a great team this year, and like I said, they're 4-6. That's not good. That's not great. That's not anything. That's bad. And the Eagles right now, same kind of, well, no one really thought they were going to be a Super Bowl team except me, obviously. But 5-5 is not what we hoped for at all. That's not really great. But like I said, this is going to be a big deal with the Dallas Cowboys in the top of the NFC East. And right now the Eagles are in last place in the NFC East. So they're really trying to get themselves back up there come playoff time. And I'm really hoping that the Eagles pull this win out, obviously, because I'm biased. And right now, Green Bay, they're in the NFC North, and Green Bay's in third place position behind Detroit and Minnesota. NFC North had kind of failed all expectations, but Green Bay, it's been a really weird story. No one really knows what's wrong with Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of weird, but this will be a big game. Both teams kind of fighting for the same thing, trying to get better in their division. So it'll be a big game to see who pulls this one out. Of course, I'm biased. I want it to be the Eagles. So, Monday Night Football game, always fun to watch. And now for some college football. So, college football games, some are on, I don't know if there's any on Thursday this year anymore, but there's some games on Friday and some on Saturday. The games on Friday, there are some that are kind of big. By some, I mean one that's big, and that's the number 5 Washington versus number 23 Washington State. In-state rivalry, that type of deal. We already have that going. And then, of course, the rankings. So Washington is 5th at 10-1. Washington State is 23rd at 8-3. Washington, I've said this before, that they're trying to get back into that playoff spot, and they're 5th. So like I've said before, the top 4 teams make it to the playoff. 5th, not good enough. So they're really trying to get that spot. And I'm about to talk about a game next that's going to be what'll be able to help them. This is a big game, just in-state rivalry. Anytime that, you have a Kansas versus Kansas State or something like that, that's always a big game. Whenever you have the state, you have the state school, and then you have the state. So it's always a big deal, and this game is going to be just as big, especially with Washington trying to get into that 4th spot. Every game the rest of the season for them is crucial. They only have, I believe, 1 game after this one, so this is like, they have to win out. Have to win out. I mean, there's no question about it. Now, this is the biggest game of the week, biggest game of the year. I am so excited for this game. It is the Michigan versus Ohio State game. Did you see my face? I'm so excited about this game. So Michigan is ranked 3rd. Ohio State is ranked 2nd. Both teams are 10-1. I am so excited. So these teams already hate each other. They have a big rivalry that's been going on for like 25 years at least. Like, they've always disliked each other. You know, the schools are very close to each other. They just have this conference rivalry. They hate each other. But this year, both teams are so good that I don't know who's going to win. And I'm so excited for it. I'm pulling for Ohio State just because, I don't know, I like Ohio State. But, so what I was talking about previously is how they're trying to get into that 4th spot. Washington is. But, so this is a number 2 versus number 3 team. So whoever loses this is going to drop out of the top 4. So this is literally, this game basically decides who's going in the playoffs. So if Ohio State wins, they're in, and Michigan's out, and therefore probably Washington would be able to get in. If vice versa, Ohio State's out. So this is huge. Oh my gosh, this game is going to be so fun. I'm so excited for this. It's going to be an awesome game. I expect it to just be like what we've all been waiting for, especially with the rivalry. I expect some like scuffles. I love some scuffles. There's going to be a lot of energy in this game, and it's like a little mini national championship. I'm so excited for this. This is going to be a really, really good game. I'm so excited. Definitely watch this game. It's at 11 a.m. on Saturday, so get up, watch it, enjoy. It's going to be such a good game. I promise. This is like, so much is riding on this game. Everything, really. This is the most hyped up game I've seen in a while. I'm going to keep rambling about it. I'm so excited. Just watch the game, okay? Another big game this weekend is number 13 Auburn versus number 1 Alabama. Auburn is 8-3, Alabama is undefeated, 11-0, whatever. Of course, Alabama's number 1. We're sick of it. Okay, this game's big because these two teams hate each other. We're talking about rivalries. This is rivalry week, really. These teams hate each other. Absolutely hate each other. Like, Auburn, Alabama, that's a big rivalry. That's like, everyone knows about that rivalry. It's in-state. They just don't like each other, okay? There's been some wild things that have happened in the Iron Bowl, and I'm here for it. This is a great year for Auburn to upset Alabama. We would all love it. Do I want to see Alabama go down? Absolutely. But this is just a big game, and like I said, Auburn isn't bad this year. They're 13th. They've had a pretty good year, and they've always been in Alabama's shadow. Always, especially with Alabama being so good these past few years. So this is a huge game. It's at 2:30 p.m. on Saturday, so after the Ohio State-Michigan game finishes, jump on over this one. It should be good. We've seen some crazy finishes to this game before. I'm talking about like kick returns and for a touchdown. What was it? A field goal return that was returned for a touchdown? It was incredible. Either way, watch this game. I wouldn't, throw Auburn to the side just yet. They really play hard, especially in this game. And the last big game I'm going to talk about is number 15 Florida versus number 14 Florida State. Florida's 8-2, Florida State's 8-3. Like I said, this is rivalry week, so these teams hate each other. So Florida versus Florida State, like I said, when you add the state, it just makes it worse. These two teams hate each other. Obviously, neither team is going to make it in the playoffs, so it's not really about getting the playoff berth, but it is about getting a good bowl game. That is starting to come into the conversation. While the playoff bowl games are the best bowl games to be in, there's still like a hierarchy of the rest of the bowls. You don't want to be in like the toilet bowl. You know what I'm saying? So there is a hierarchy, and right now, Florida versus Florida State is a big one with both of these teams ranked in the top 20, top 15, obviously. And whoever wins this is going to jump ahead the other team to be getting into a better bowl game. And these teams hate each other. I love rivalry week because there's so much hate in these games, and rivalry games are just the absolute best games to watch. Alright guys, that's all we have for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all have an amazing Thanksgiving. I will see you back on Tuesday. We're not going to do any more football basics. We've covered that. We're just going to talk about some other stuff, and I hope to see y'all then. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.